everyone, to the Week 8 review. We are winding down the regular season. Region play is ramping up, having some great games down this final home stretch. So, just remember to stay focused. Yeah, stay sharp, because some of these plays, we're about to see a couple, really got to make you think. So we'll just roll right into this week's videos. Alright, so you heard us talk about, if you're in the Deeps clinic over the summer, you heard me say, and you probably heard me say this number of times before, anytime you're inside the red zone and you have trips, the specific example I used was trips, you need to have your radar up for OPI. Same can be said for twins. The deeper you get, the more you have to have your radar up for some of these plays. So let's watch the play and then we'll talk about it. So you saw him come in, then you can see they got a catch. Watch again without me stopping it. So a couple of things to look at here. Let's look at the rule that stipulates pass interference. In true NFHS fashion, the rule is vague. Doesn't give a lot of details, but that's fine. We don't need a lot of details. It just says in 7.5.10, it is forward pass interference if any player of A or B who is beyond the neutral zone interferes with an eligible opponent's opportunity to move toward, catch, or bat to pass. In terms of OPI, we're looking more toward move towards their ability to bat the pass or move towards the ball. So one of the categories of OPI is blocking downfield, because an eligible receiver cannot block downfield. So, looking at that, we're watching this outside guy, and he comes in and he sends what is essentially a pick. You can see it right there. So how do we determine what is OPI, what's not OPI? Remember, there's nothing in that rule that stipulates intent. It does not say that he has to specifically go after this guy. It does not say he has to initiate the contact. But the next rule, 7.5.11, does specifically say if there's incidental contact that occurs, then you waive the ball. Although it says incidental contact, two players going toward the ball. That's why on feet trip, we don't flag that as DPI, because it's incidental contact. In this situation, even if it's incidental, that rule stipulates two players going toward the ball. This is not a player going toward the ball. This is a player going away from the ball, and he's going to initiate the contact. And one thing you look for, this is deliberate. You can tell this is a designed pick play, plain and simple. And he definitely makes the contact. And one way you can know that this is a designed pick play, he's not just running a route, because the receiver stops. After he does what he's supposed to do, he stops, because his job is done. His job was to set the pick. He set the pick. It was successful. This team scores, and I think this is overtime. I'm not sure. But it's late in the game. Potential game-winning score. And he sets it. They win. Guy gets as our friend Dr. Bodie would say, he's dating the cheerleader the next day. So, is this DPI or OPI? This specific play? So, remember the stipulation in the rule book, the contact occurs beyond the neutral zone. So what's the saving grace on this crew is that this contact is still in the neutral zone. We're snapping from the 2. Snapping from the 2. This contact occurs about right at the 2, in between the 1 and the 2. So where this contact occurs. So, by rule, it's not OPI, because it is not beyond the neutral zone. But mechanically, this is still incorrect. And this is where we kind of get into that second level of, we're getting close to evaluations. If I'm evaluating this, I want to see the flag thrown on this play, and then the line judge come in and say that pass, or the block was in the neutral zone, and he can help and see that. This is where communication comes in between the wing and the deep, because you're both going to be looking right here. Both the field judge and the line judge are going to be looking right here at this area, because the line judge, he has this inside receiver who is threatened. And the line judge may be able to see this too. It's more on the field judge because that's his key. But the line judge can help us determine that this is not beyond the neutral zone. So like I said, we talk about evaluations, kind of that next tier, the crews that make the finals. We will want to see a flag on this from the deep. And then the deep and the line judge get together and determine if the block was beyond the neutral zone. The pass has to also be beyond the neutral zone. So there's two aspects there that we have to consider. Deep and line judge will get together on that. Then they will go to the wing, or to the R, and say, wave it off, or we got OPI. That's how this will. Just go back from the beginning. Field judge sees this play. He says, that's OPI. I'm not sure if that was beyond the neutral zone or not, so I'm going to flag it. And then he's going to go to the line judge, tell him what he's got, say, hey, was that block beyond the neutral zone? Was it pass beyond the neutral zone? Both have to be beyond the neutral zone. And then they're going to go to the R and say, wave it off, or we got OPI. But if you see this specific block occur beyond the neutral zone, this is OPI. So, it's a lot to go into in that play, but it is a play that, you're going to see a lot, and especially moving forward, like I said, with evaluations and crews now trying to, working toward be one of the 8 crews in Atlanta. That's how we would want to see that play officiated. All right, so this is a tough play. Back judge did what he could. But we're going to go over how we can better officiate this play. But it is a very tough play. And the ruling is correct here. So let's break it down. We'll look at the rules and everything first. Then we'll look at mechanics. First thing we need to determine is this a catch or an incomplete pass? So do we have possession and control? Let's slow it down. So there's the possession. He tucks it in. That gives him control. And that's all we need, possession and control. He's now making his way upfield. You can see the ball's tucked in. And now the defender's going to come in and swipe that ball. I think this is a correct ruling of catching a fumble. You can see the back judge indicates it with his beanbag. So, I don't think this is a cheap turnover. Obviously, if you have doubt, then you would rule it incomplete. But this is, you got possession. He's tucking it in, so you got control. That's all you need, the possession and the control. Some kind of act of control. Moving across his body, tucking it in, reaching toward the goal line. Something to indicate that we have control. So then we go by look at other rules. So we have a fumble by from the field of play into the end zone. If you're at the camps, especially the deeps, we had the whole section on inside the 20, how things change. One of the things we talked about was fumble by A into the end zone. So fumble by A into the end zone. If A recovers, then you have a touchdown. If B recovers, or if the ball goes out of the back of the end zone or out of bounds in the end zone, then you have a touchback, which is what happens here. There's no clear recovery. Ball goes out the back of the end zone. By rule, this is a touchback. So the tricky part here is the positioning by the back judge. Again, this is a tough position. This is a tough position to be in. We even used to teach if the ball's caught in the field of play, your back judge is going to be in the end zone. But it's going to shift away from that thinking. And if the ball is caught in between the 5, and this is kind of what they're being taught at the higher levels, ball caught inside the 5, back judge is going to go ahead and be on the end line. And the reason for that being, plays like this are better officiated by the back judge from the end line. Plus, there's no one else that can be on the end line. We don't want the field judge, side judge to come off. I want the back judge to be there because it's a better officiated play. Number one, it's hard for the back judge to really rule on the goal line here. You're just too close. We talk about wider is better. Field judge, side judge can better officiate this. Now, he can still officiate, help out on the catch or no catch. If he's standing right here, he's got a good angle in right there on whether or not this ball is possessed and controlled. Field judge, side judge, they simply just have a better view of the goal line from their positions. Also, you officiate everything going on in the end zone after this is better officiated from the end line. So right here, you can see if there is a scramble, right here is all B players. So basically anything that happens here going to be B's ball touchback. But if there's a better contest between a A player and a white player, we will want to be on the end line to see, if A possesses it, but the ball or they have a foot or something on the end line, then obviously we still have a touchback. Or if A can possess it completely inside the end zone, then they get the touchdown. There's a lot of stuff to look at in this that can be better officiated from the end line. Again, it's a tough play, tough spot for the back judge to be in. Definitely no fault here. It's just something we can go look for the future and we learn from. So, moving forward, pass caught inside the 5, back judge will go ahead and just move on the end line. It helps specifically for plays like this. And there's other plays it would help out in. But specifically plays like this. Talk about some mechanics here. So this is where you can kind of get into the manual and then common sense. And that's not to discredit the manual. The manual is the foundation, is what we go by. But you kind of want to get in some common sense here as well. So we have a bad snap. We're going 15 yards behind. Sorry, 15, 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So the question is wings. Do the wings move back on this? Or would you come back and help? Short answer is use your judgment, use your common sense. We would want the line judge to stay, at least. And the headline judge, you can move back, but it's not necessarily required that you move back to help the R. So where the common sense comes into this is, do you have a threat? Is the line of scrimmage threatened by a receiver that you would need to be in the line of scrimmage on? Is there some kind of contest going on in here that you need to keep an eye on? And so forth. So you got both wings right now. Just kind of stay in the line of scrimmage. You do have, you got this going on that the headline judge you're probably watching. The line judge, he may be, kind of seeing what's going on here. Well, that's probably umpire. But the line judge, he's holding that line anyway. And then once we determine there is a clear recovery, now the wings are going to come up. So this is a good job. This would be, again, we're talking about evaluation. This would not be a ding either way, whether you stay or come up. It's one of those, use your common sense, kind of get a feel for the game, what's going on, feel for the play. Because that's what we're paid for. Same game. Good job here on all the deeps, particularly the back judge. Staying calm, staying poised, getting in a position, don't have to move, You can see what happens on this goal line. Again, this is really, really good work by this back judge right here. The less we can move our eyes, the better. He's going to come in and drop the beanbag. I don't know if this gives a better angle or not, but you just see how he just gets the right position. Now all he's got to do is stay there. Don't have to move. His beanbag ready. Drops it. Good job. Textbook. So a couple of really good plays to look at today's video. We're gonna have a special video coming out here in a day or two. People have been asking because of the NFL game last week. Can you kick the ball twice? Some video was sent to me where it happened in a high school game just a few weeks ago. So I'm gonna break that down. Short answer is yes, you can kick it twice. Are some stipulations though on whether or not you can do it, when you can do it, and how you can do it. So we'll dive into all that a video later this week. So good luck this week. Remember, subscribe, like the video if you liked it. If you didn't like it, other button works too. Thank you for watching. Good luck this week.